Yo, what's up, America and everywhere else in the world? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Corey Has a Podcast. Happy New Year, everybody. It is 2023 now. It's not 2023 yet when I'm recording this. Full disclosure, I'm just pretending I'm in the future, and hopefully I make it there. You know, we talk sometimes like we're going to definitely make it there, so I really hope I do. I have been going back and forth with myself about, am I going to keep doing this? And it looks like I made it another week. Who knows, right? You know, maybe when I buy a journal or something and it comes in, I'll be like, all right, fuck it. Now I don't need to do it. I'll just go express myself in this book and not share it with anyone. But yeah, everybody, it's a brand new start, a brand new year. And I know sometimes people like to talk about how, yeah, this shit's all something we made up, right? New Year, holiday, all this shit. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's nice to kind of have like a reset button, right? Some people even like to celebrate their birthday as their new year. And that's cool. But this whole new year that we all get to observe at the same time, I think it's kind of cool. I'm trying to be less of a party pooper about things. You know, I want to participate. I was like in the bathroom taking a piss the other day at the gym, and I thought, man, if I could give myself any advice, like when I was in college or something, in one word, I'd be like, yo, man, participate in shit. Because most of the time that I've like looked at something like I'm not doing that, I've decided maybe I'll participate, and I've enjoyed myself a lot better than I thought I would, right? So and that's not with everything, you know. Sometimes it's like, no, you don't need to participate in everything, but like, you know, participate in stuff. Don't always be a party pooper. And I think that there's things I'm thinking about this year that I want to do just because I don't necessarily want to perform or get on stage. And it's not because I like, you know what, I don't think I really had an end game with that. I don't think I really thought that I was going to be some fucking big time Hollywood actor or big time stand-up comic, or maybe I did at some point, but I don't feel like that now. And I think people forget that you, as an adult and as a human being, you reserve the right to change your mind. I think there's a sense of maturity in that, where you can just change your mind. Where that's some shit that you made up, right? Like the thing you committed to and everybody knows you said you were doing it. And it's like, but you know what? You can change your mind. It's part of life. People change their mind about shit all the time. So, yeah, I mean, maybe at some point in time I thought, you know, it'd be really cool. But also I think me quitting drinking and drugs and stuff like that and all the boozing I was doing, I think at the time, I really thought there was a part of me that was looking around at all my friends thinking, yo, maybe I could just live this life forever. But I think people forget that, like, you get old and you can't do it forever. And you start seeing this new wave of young people rolling in. And all of a sudden 21 sounds so young to you. And you're still sitting there with a bunch of fucking 21-year-olds. Like, and you start getting into your mid-30s, it just kind of starts looking weird. It's like, well, what am I going to do next? Because this can't last forever. And I think at some point, I don't think I wanted to be a famous actor or comedian. I think I wanted to be able to be 25 and irresponsibly drunk for the rest of my life at some point. And that's not realistic. Nor is there any like real fulfillment in that. And I'm so happy that I'm not there anymore. But yeah, I don't really need I don't have a reason to do the things I don't want to do anymore. I think it's cool to be able to kind of like take control. There's so many things in your life that you don't necessarily have full control over, that I think that anything that you do or are able to control, it's nice to be able to do it. Especially like you want to somehow feel like your life is your own, right? You want to be in control of your life. I think the times where I get the most down in the dumps is when I just feel like I have no control of anything that is happening in my life. I think I start to kind of just feel hopeless and overwhelmed, and it shows up in different ways, right? It shows up in that I cannot sleep. And I'm already not a great sleeper. Or it shows up in just like my mood. My general mood is just like I'm just not in a good place. And I used to be like in a bad mood, and I would just be self-destructive. Now I'm like, I've found that I kind of like get into a bad mood, and I kind of just start to retreat and hide alone by myself. And that's not always good either. It's nice to lean on your support system. People love you. They want to help you. I don't believe in dumping my problems on people, but it's nice to be able to just be in the company of people who would like to see you do well, right? And everybody's got their own shit that they're going through, so it's nice to kind of like just be there for a friend, or have a friend be there for you, So the things I've been thinking about are things that I never thought about before. One thing that's a huge thing on my list: mobility. And I know you're like, what? That was a sharp left turn. Mobility. Yeah, I want to become flexible. When I was in my 20s, you know what it was about? Wearing a tight Abercrombie & Fitch shirt and going to the bar and looking jacked because you went to the gym and you just trained your upper body the whole fucking time. You were in there doing bicep curls in front of the mirror. You get your first bicep vein. You start walking around with the tight shirt, and everybody can see that you have muscles, right? And you do it for all these years, and eventually you can't lift your hands up over your head, right? You just can't. And then later on, you might just be that person for the rest of your life. But me, I'm a fitness professional, and my style of training and the type of athlete I've become has evolved. So I'd like to be able to raise my hands above my head. And what I realized in the last couple of years is I actually spent a strong 10 plus years making it very difficult for me to reach up over my head without compensating in some way. So yeah, that's a thing that I want to work on. I want to get more mobile. I want to become, I've really, in the last year or so, have become really interested in CrossFit. It's something that I love. I think it's cool that these people show up to the games and have no idea what they're up against, and they just have been training to become so fucking well-rounded that it doesn't matter what they have to do. They're just going to execute. And like, I think there's something really cool about that. I think there's something really cool about like being able to be really strong, but also being able to move and be functional, right? I think that's awesome. And I had all these ideas, like preconceived ideas about it before I knew anything about it, like we do with everything. I mean, like, I spent a long time, I'm doing so much shit that I like never used to do or never thought about doing. It's fucking wild. Like, recently I've been watching anime. Like, I don't think it counts that I watched Dragon Ball Z growing up and shit, because I think every kid I knew loved Dragon Ball and knows who fucking Goku and Vegeta. Like, all the dudes I know who these guys are. Even if they didn't watch it, they fucking know. Like, and everybody knows Pokemon, whatever. But like, yeah, I'm over here watching My Hero Academia, and I'm over here like, damn, this is really fucking cool, because it goes deeper to me. It's like the shit that I looked up to as a young boy. There's just always been certain themes, and I love characters that just show like there's like a representation of every different type of person, right? And especially nowadays, I think with social media, it's really cool to be able to kind of watch a show where you can kind of see these personalities on display, right? Like in this show in particular, people are born with what are called quirks, which essentially, like, if they were like X-Men, it would be like mutant powers, right? Like, and then, but there's mutants, and then there's people that are not mutants. So there's people that have quirks, and then there's people that do not have quirks. And they go to school to learn how to become a professional hero, and heroes are like paid by the government and shit to like live, and they protect the world from people who have quirks that are using them for evil. and you just see people like their reason for wanting to be a hero. And it kind of goes back to like what I was talking about earlier about like, why did I want to perform? And I think I wanted to perform for a lot of reasons, right? But I saw a thing on the show. I'll get back into that in a second. But I saw a thing on the show where this kid was in the middle of a test, one of his hero tests in the Hero Academy. And this lady who's like on the faculty was like, I don't think this kid is really cut out for this shit because he doesn't even know why he wants to be a hero. Because if you just want to be a hero just to say you're a hero, then that's not a good enough reason, right? And it's like, that shit really like kind of stuck with me. Like I feel like I'm just going to be thinking about that all week. And I'm thinking like, I just wanted to perform for what? So people could be like, hey, that's Corey, you know? Because the funny thing is, when I'm walking down the street in real life, I don't even like running into people I know. Can you imagine being famous and fucking you can't walk down the street at all? Because everybody's trying. Some people want that. I don't want that. So what did I want? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe rewind 8 to 10 years ago. Maybe I did want that. Maybe I just felt like I wanted that life. But I've grown into a different thing, and I feel fortunate that didn't happen. But it started to make me think, why do I do what I do now? You know? And the truth of the matter is, I've been so passionate about this thing for a long time. I was talking to one of my guys the other day at the gym. I said, yo, I got a fucking chip on my shoulder. I do, and I know I do. You know, I know that when I was a kid and I was a baby and I had colic and I was crying for hours on end nonstop. And my mom loved to tell me about how when I was a baby, I just would not stop crying. I was a big fucking crybaby. And I think it's because I was just a baby and I was in pain. And I just had all these health issues. You know, I had asthma real bad. I got hospitalized. I spent Christmas in the fucking hospital. I remember my mom bought me this leather Yankees jacket that I wanted. I saw it at Modell's one time, and she like showed up to the hospital with it for me for Christmas. It was so fucking dope. It was navy blue, obviously. In the back, it had the Yankees inscript, and then it had the white leather sleeves. And I was so happy, but I was also so fucking miserable because I was a 10-year-old kid in the hospital with an IV in his arm, you know? And my mom also, it broke her heart to see her son like that. So I think she was also just really protective of me. So I wasn't allowed to do a lot of shit. And then one day I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm hopping on a skateboard and I'm doing this and I'm skating. And at one point I locked myself in my bedroom when I was like, I want to say 14. I was 14. I think freshman year, I walked into high school and I was this little chubby fucking Theodore the Chipmunk looking motherfucker. And with a fucking light Caesar. It's funny it's fucking hilarious. And I was soft. I was soft as fuck. And not in like personality, because I grew up in a neighborhood where it was like I wasn't like soft, like, you know, but my body was just soft. Like I was like fucking flubber. And I was like, fuck this. And my mom didn't know shit about nutrition. So I started reading Men's Health, reading Men's Fitness, talking to my dad a lot. My dad was always jacked. I put on a fucking sweatsuit. I did 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups and 100 jumping jacks every fucking day. I changed the way I ate. And then all of a sudden, I was fucking ripped in like a matter of months. And it was awesome. I was skinny, though. You know, like high school kid ripped? Like I was like 15. I was really skinny. And then I met my best friend, Frank, after that. And he always jokes around and said that I looked like I was a heroin addict piano player. And then I just was like, all right, I got to put some fucking muscle on because I got fucking absolutely demolished by some kid in football because I joined the football team. And I got trucked like I wasn't even standing there. And then here I am. And I think the chip on my shoulder is I am past the point of I just want to look impressive. No, I want to be impressive. I want to do impressive things. I want to do things that my mom or the doctors or fucking my family never thought I could do. And I'm doing them. And I spent this year, or at least 2022 rather, I spent the whole year just jumping into shit. You know, I did my first powerlifting meet. I'm not a powerlifter, but it was a good fucking time. It was a great experience. I got so much respect for the powerlifting community. And honestly, I took some things with me that I carry into my workouts every single day. Just from being around the atmosphere, being around powerlifters, watching powerlifting, following powerlifters on social media. And fucking when you put a singlet on and you step up onto the fucking platform and it's time for you to move that weight, there's really not a lot of feelings I've ever had like that in my life. That was great. I did high rocks a couple of times, right? Like it's just nice to know that once you sign up for some shit, the day comes and you do it. And then the day passes and you start thinking about, what am I going to do next? I did this. What can I do next? And I think what I love to do, beyond even the chip on my shoulder, it's more like I want to give this to people. I want to share this with people. I want to like I'm always, and people love talking to me about training and their diet and yada yada and all this shit. And sometimes I'm like, oh, God, it's, you know, like, don't you have anything else you want to talk to me about? But also at the same time, it's like I fucking sleep, eat, breathe this shit, you know? So I'm doing exactly what I want to do. And that makes me happy. And at the end of the day, like, I feel successful because of that, you know? And I fucking, by no means am saying that I don't struggle, because I struggle with plenty of shit. But that is an area of my life that I'm proud of. And it's something that I only intend on building upon. It's just dope, you know? So if I had to be like on the My Hero Academia shit, it's like, because I guess the question that it boils down to is, why are you a hero? Like, why do you want to be a hero? And if I had to really think about that shit, I don't really know how to answer that question, other than the fact that whenever I see someone who could not do something, surprise themselves by doing it, it lights me up. It just makes my whole fucking day. Whenever I see someone discover a level of self-confidence that they never had, whenever I help someone, when I empower someone, when I genuinely am clapping for someone, you know, and that, I love building other people up. I love being around people that are happy. I love being around people that are doing things for their families, doing things for themselves, bettering themselves. Like, that's it. That's all I want to be around, you know? And I know that's like, yeah, well, that's all you want to be around. But what if somebody's going? It's like, yo, man, it's just, you know, I just want to see people do well. That's it. I want to see people do well. It makes me happy. It's really cool. You know, on the flip side of that, it really upsets me when I see someone like just who can't be happy for other people. But that's their problem, right? And those people need help in their own fucking way too. I'm not the person, but you know, there's therapy and there's all types of shit like that. So yeah, I want to become more mobile. I want to learn how to do a pistol squat. I want to learn how to do a muscle up. I want to learn how to fucking walk on my hands. Okay, is that too much to ask? I think not. But listen, I've been talking for a long time. Just want to leave you all on this. Have a happy new year. I think you could say that until like the fucking end of. People say till the end of January, and I think that's a little bit crazy. I think maybe until like the 10th, and then just leave it alone. We get it. Yeah. All right. So, cool new shit on the horizon. cool new education on the horizon. And just more life, more everything, more experience, more ups, more downs, highs and lows. And yeah, if you got anything that you want to fucking vent about, you got anything you want to ask me about, you got anything fitness related you want to holler at me about, yo, hit me up on CoreyHasAPodcast@gmail.com. And I will read your question right here on the podcast. And that will be that. All right? Now, have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll see you motherfuckers soon. Later.